Nietzsche understood the political significance of the chorus. And in blues music and in a lot of other music, the chorus, sure, there's the person wailing about his miseries or her miseries, her soul. But the repetition from the chorus is the community of accountability, right? The chorus is telling you that you have a responsibility to a community. And Nietzsche understood this in his analysis of, for instance, the Oresteia. He understood Aeschylus among the tragedians as really drawing on the importance of community accountability, the chorus, the family, right? The friends, your neighbors, all of that. But as we know, Nietzsche also brought up that in this moment, there's dancing. The chorus, right? The celebration, that music and dance are linked. And if you look at a lot of music forms, they started off with that link of dance and connection. Jimi Hendrix, with all of the technical stuff he does, he also wants you to dance. He was bringing in those elements. But then the next stage is the egotistical stage. And Nietzsche actually, contrary to a lot of other critics, saw the move to Sophocles, which was Socrates' favorite poet, as actually decadent. And the reason he saw it is because it began to focus so much on individualism, on the self. It's all about beginning this me stuff. You know what I mean? It's all about me and my suffering and this and that. And Nietzsche, I think correctly, is critical of that. Because and there is a longer argument. There are a lot of others. There's a wonderful Chinese political theorist and philosopher by the name of Xu Tiang, who also talks about this. In Greek society, it's the movement away from the connectedness relationality into the concept called ousia, which is called substance, which is the notion that you can be a reality by and unto yourself. And the moment you begin to imagine yourself as not needing anybody, anything, so forth, you are delusional, but you're moving into decadence. And Nietzsche talked about that. But then Nietzsche goes to a third stage of decadence, which he saw in Euripides. Now, this is going to be something that is difficult for our times to swallow, okay? Because Euripides is known as the poet of women. And Euripides was at the point at which Greek society was becoming more democratic, which meant you have to ask the obvious question. How are you going to call yourself a democratic society if you're going to have slaves and you're going to treat women as property? And in Euripides' writings, in his tragedies, women are at the forefront, okay? But the thing that Nietzsche saw that as bad, Nietzsche hated democracy, etc. Okay? That's where his conservatism came in, right? He wanted a tradition over democracy. However, I don't think it's as simple to write off his analysis by saying he's a misogynist, he's anti-democracy, etc. We have to ask ourselves, when I looked around over the past, my God, I can't even believe it's that many, nearly 50 years since I've encountered the writings of Nietzsche. I've looked and I've noticed he's onto something. He may have problems with his analysis about women and democracy, but many art forms, if you look at them, especially in music, early rock and roll, people were dancing. Then it went to a stage of just these long solos where, it's all about the individual star. And then it went to a stage where everything was, as they said, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was, you know what I mean? It was all about sex and androgyny and all of that stuff. You look at other forms. You look at hip hop, right? Again, early hip hop was dancing. It was people at a party, the MC came, boogie to boogie, boogie, boogie to the beat, you know? And then more and more it became the rapper and talking about himself. I'm the baddest, I'm the biggest, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a that. And then you notice after that, then it became hypersexual. Everything was, and people were treating it as if it's liberation and saving the world. If you talk about booty and this and that and women's bodies and B words and W words, and you know what I mean? And then you began to look at even Jamaican music, right? You look at reggae, right? Reggae started off with ska, you're dancing, rock steady, blah, blah, blah. Then you got into Bob Marley politically talking about, you know, focus on the individual and the problems, even though he's making a liberation message. And then you have dancehall. What is dancehall? A group of women, the booty, the this, right?
Yeah.
So that analysis is there, and I think we need to answer that. We need to have, and I in a lot of my writings, I try to give an answer to that, and even in that essay and elsewhere, which is, I'm not giving up on democracy.
Yeah.
I love democracy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a fan. Yes.
Yeah. I think the danger is when democracy becomes antipathetic to political responsibility.
Yeah.
If you take collective responsibility for power out, then you're left with your individual celebration of your body, right? You have to treat yourself as if you individually are so powerful in your identity, which is what is happening, right? People want to be powerful as women, as Black, as white, as whatever. But that's not real power. It's not political power. That is a situation where it is actually, in psychoanalytical terms, locked at the adolescent level of libidinal drives. It's where you just want to be safe and have pleasure.
Yeah.
But that's a child. To become an adult, you need to take responsibility and to realize that your actions affect others. And I do think there's another conception of art that brings political responsibility in it, while not sacrificing the joy and the celebration of the aesthetic dimensions of life. And as you know, I argue that what art's about is about making us at home in a reality that has absolutely no reason to give a damn about us. What every one of us know is that there were billions, maybe trillions of what we call years before we came into being. And there will be billions and trillions when we're dead and gone. And in other words, what we call the universe or the multiverse has no reason to care about us. But we have a reason to care about ourselves and one another. And we do so in art.